Is Nintendo getting ready for a Switch 2 or maybe a Switch Pro? The future of Klonoa is in our hands. And apparently Nintendo hasn't forgotten about F-Zero. Could have fooled me. These are all from Nintendo Life. Nintendo appears to be stockpiling raw materials, doubles its 2019 spending on supplies. You're like, Sean, who gives a shit? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Strap in, Timmy. Well, this could mean a whole lot of different stuff. You know, Nintendo Life breaks it down in like a whole, if you want to go read it, go check it out. They got a whole breakdown here. But basically, we're going to go down to what's important here. This is Nintendo's spending on raw materials and finished goods, work in progress, and everything, where we focus on raw materials right here, which are used to make Nintendo Switches, make video game consoles, make everything, you know, controllers, all of that stuff, everything. Used to make everything. Nintendo has to buy materials to make things, obviously, clearly. Anyways, you go back to 2018, 10,000, 2019, 32,000, which, noted by Nintendo Life, is when the Switch Lite and the revised standard Switch with the better running battery life with the Mariko chip, that's when that was created and released for us, was maybe not created in 2018, maybe into 2019, and then produced in 2019 for us to buy. So that would explain this huge leap. Over 3 times from what it was the year previous. That would explain that. And then 2020 we go back down to 12K. In 2021 we go back to 10K, which has maybe like supply shortages. There was all kinds of chip shortages, all kinds of shortages. There was shortages of consoles in stores, etc., etc. So that would explain why this number right here is so low. But then we go to 2022 and we got 66,000, wow, in millions of yen. So I don't know what the hell that is in millions of yen, but it's a lot. It's a lot of millions of yen. 66,000 millions of yen. I don't know how many that's a billion. We're in the billions. We're somewhere up there, okay? You do the quick maths. But it's double what they spent in 2019. And they had 2 kind of consoles come out in 2019. The Switch Lite, like I said, and then that revision of the Switch. And they also probably still produced the original one a little bit, but then we have just the revision now. Anyways, this is double that. And there is no planned or announced revision of the Switch that is coming out, or a successor. Obviously they are working on the successor. Clearly they talk about it from time to time about what they want it to be and what their hopes and dreams are for it, and we all talk about what our hopes and dreams are for it, and we all want a Switch Pro and we all want the Switch 2, blah 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 blah. I'd rather just jump straight into the next iteration. I don't want a Switch Pro for like 2 years and then the next one. I want to let's just get it over with, rip off the band-aid and go into the next one. All right, leave the Switch behind. It did fucking gangbusters, your best-selling home console of all time, even though it's a hybrid, handheld hybrid type of thing. Still home console in most people's books. Some people use it just as a home console. I have a Switch Lite for on the go and regular Switch for at home. Anyways, regardless, it fucking did amazing, okay? And 66,000 million in raw materials and supplies would indicate to some people, hey, they're making a new console. Clearly, last time they did that in 2019, they only had 32K. This time, they really amped it up. But there's a few other factors that could contribute to this. I don't know what I really think of it. I'm hoping at least that they're ramping up to announce the Switch Pro, to start producing the Switch Pro or Switch 2, whatever it is. Like I said, would rather have the Switch 2, but this is what I'm thinking. It's going to be something along the lines of either a revision or a successor. But Nintendo Life points out that this could just be them, you know, being careful with, we just had the shortages. We don't know what shortages are coming in the future, so they're just stockpiling as much as they can right now, reasonably, to be prepared for things in the future so they can have a smooth production without any like, uh-oh, we can't get any chips, we can't get any of this and that, which would make sense. That makes sense, you know what I mean? But this is just a huge number compared to this, which we had 2 new consoles come out, and this is double that. So I don't know, I feel like it's not unreasonable to assume that there is some type of new iteration or new console coming from Switch, from Nintendo, with the Switch, you know. But it could be a number of things. I don't know. What do you think? It's definitely very interesting. It's very interesting if you're a Nintendo fan and you want a new console from Nintendo. This is a glimmer of hope. You're like, wait, is it going to be sooner than later? That would be great. They obviously tout the 10-year life cycle, but they've done that with every single console in the past ever. I don't know, people put their head in the sand like, they said 10 years, guys. It's been like 5 years. They said 10 years. Literally go back to any old Nintendo console. They always say, we're going to be supporting this for years to come. Whenever like the GameCube comes out, they're like, 64 is going to get our support forever. Oops, just kidding. 1 year later, it's gone. Same with, you know, Wii U, blah, 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 GameCube, all of that. It's always happened with every single Nintendo console ever. So, you know, whenever they say that, they're lying. So we'll get like the Switch Pro like 7 years in, and they'll be like, we're still going to support the Switch for 3 years. And them supporting the Switch would be like, then we're not going to turn the online off on you. That's their version of support. So there you go. I don't know. Like I said, interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that. I hope it's for a Switch 2. And boy, oh boy, more platformer goodness. Klonoa producer says remaster might lead to more re-releases and expansion of IP. This is good news. We need more platformers, especially more cute, fun, kawaii platformers like Klonoa, you know what I mean? I never played Klonoa, though. I'm going to play this remake. I was not a PlayStation boy. I was a Nintendo boy when I was growing up. I did not play the original Klonoas. I've never played a Klonoa. I know they had a Game Boy Klonoa and some other stuff, so maybe we get those in the future. Anyways, this is what he said. With Klonoa, since there has been large gaps between the releases of games at this 25th anniversary's timing, we decided to re-release this title so people can play the original games first. This is 1 and 2 apparently, and if this remaster version is loved by the community, there might be opportunities to further expand the Klonoa IP and do other remasters of other titles as well. The first goal and idea behind the Fantasy Riviere series itself is to spread awareness and reignite the Klonoa IP, which makes sense. Re-release the first 2, give them a shiny new coat of paint, throw them out there for all the kids who didn't grow up with it, didn't see it, didn't play it, including me, and you know, hopefully we love it. And I got a feeling I'm gonna like it. It looks really fun. I've heard a lot of great things about Klonoa, so I'm very excited to play it. And them making more brand new platformers. The platformers are great. Love platformers. I play a ton of RPGs, too many RPGs. Would love to mix it up with more platformers. And I like that platformers are having, you know, a bit of a renaissance. You know what I mean? It's like a resurgence of platformers. And you know, late 90s, early 2000s. That's like pretty much like was the bread and butter of the gaming industry was platformers. Then we kind of went into like first-person shooters and like bigger open world type of games and everything. But it's fun to reel it back in and have like a simple adventure, I think. And I'm excited for this. Can't wait to play it. Hopefully it does well, and hopefully it's a, you know, it's a series that we're gonna get for years to come. I would love for that to be the case because it looks so damn fun and cute. And a random hero spoke up for the little guy. Nintendo shareholder apparently asked for a new F-Zero at a general meeting. This is like a bunch of translated from Japanese, so some of it's like really hard to read, but apparently what happened at the shareholders meeting, someone spoke up and asked for a bunch of dead IPs to be revived, like, hey Nintendo, I guess if you're allowed at a shareholders meeting, I'm assuming you have a large stake in Nintendo. I don't know exactly how you get to a shareholders meeting. That's my only assumption. That may be wrong. I don't know, but I think that is the case. But anyways, what they asked for, the franchises the shareholder brought up are the racing game series F-Zero, Batten Kaitos, Monolithsoft's GameCube card-based RPG series, never heard of it, Wario Land, which would be amazing getting into Wario Land, the Mario spin-off that hasn't seen a new game since the Wii, 2 intelligent system games in Kairo no Tame ni Kane wa Naru, and Kosuku Card Battle Card Hero, and Kosuju Mecha MG made by Earth Defense Force developers. And apparently this person on Twitter said they were the ones. Zalman said shout out to the investor who attended Nintendo shareholder meeting to ask about F-Zero. And then Momiji, which I have no idea who this is, but apparently they got some fucking money. I don't fucking know. I am the one who asked this question. I delivered your enthusiasm directly to Nintendo management. They got 1.3k likes. This must be some important person I don't know about. I don't know who this is, but they love F-Zero and they spoke up. I get so many comments asking about like, oh, when are we going to get a new F-Zero? Obviously, I don't know, but I'll talk about Nintendo news and be like, oh, did you hear about this F-Zero thing? And F-Zero. There are tons of like absolutely die-hard F-Zero fans. Shout out to you guys in the comments below, because we do get a lot of comments about F-Zero, but there's just die-hard F-Zero fans and Nintendo just does not care at all. But maybe they do, because apparently in the official like transcript of it, they only left in F-Zero. They didn't leave in the mention of the other games, which is an indicator that they realize that it is still an IP that people want. Something along those lines. After the general meeting of shareholders, you told Mr. Moji, who asked this question, if the title part is complete, this is where the English and Japanese is weird, is completely cut into the minutes, you can judge that there is no pulse, and if F-Zero remains in the minutes, you can judge that it is a pulse ant. He listed multiple titles, but Nintendo left only F-Zero. Isn't this a clear F-Zero appeal to us? See, like I said, it's like all Japanese, translated, really weird to read. But basically, what he's saying is the no pulse, the pulse. They're saying they left F-Zero in there because it has a pulse, which I guess would assume means it has a chance of coming back. There's a chance of a new F-Zero. That's what I get from it. Nintendo Life had a slightly different take, apparently. The U is like referring to someone at the meeting, potentially Takahashi, Nintendo's general manager of Nintendo's inner planning. Essentially, in style, says that what Momoji was told If that a game title is left in the minutes, then it means that Nintendo is aware it still exists. Yay, of course, that doesn't mean much considering Captain Falcon has appeared in every single Smash Bros. I don't think it means that they just know that it still exists, obviously, because the way you would word this is, you can judge that there is no pulse, and if F-Zero remains in the minutes, you can judge that it is a pulse ant. I don't know what the ant means, like a small pulse, a slight pulse, but I feel like it means that there's slightly a chance that we could get a new F-Zero. Like, Nintendo's like, okay, we hear you about F-Zero. That other shit, no thank you, get it out of here. What do we look like, okay? We're trying to make money. But they said, F-Zero, that might make us some money. Maybe they'll give it to Sega like they did last time. I think the last time we had it was F-Zero GX or something. I don't know, on the GameCube or whatever. Anyways, F-Zero fans want a new F-Zero. Give them a goddamn new F-Zero, and then the world will rejoice. People that love F-Zero will buy it. People that don't know what F-Zero is might check it out. I mean, Nintendo Racing, it looks really cool, and the world's really cool, and the lore's really cool. Expand on some of that stuff. Give us something amazing, Nintendo. I hope to God you can, because we'd love to see it. But anyways, F-Zero fans, rejoice? If you want to support me, become a Beanie Boy. Here's the Beanie Boys right here. Love them to bits. So much. If you want to be a Beanie Boy, join button, 99 cents a month, not even $12 a year. You can support me, support the channel, all that stuff. Greatly appreciated. Goes a long way. Really do appreciate it. Love my boys. Love my boys. But if you want to support just by liking, commenting, subscribing, that's all amazing. Even disliking, unsubscribing, telling me to frick the heck off. Still some interaction, and I love you for it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.